Hey guys, so this is Comic Stop, and see this drawing? This was done by Saeed. We're gonna go to behind the counter. I hope he doesn't mind it until he comes. But this thing is a work of art. We'll know more about it in the interview. It took him a long time, trust me. This shop is like no other in the region. As far as I know, it's actually pretty rare. I hope like someday you could actually come in here and check it out. There is absolutely everything here, from pops to comic books to toys, figurines, masks, whatever you want. You could spend here hours upon hours just browsing, or you could come and have Saeed bite off your ear by talking to you about everything in between. This shop has been around for the past 2 years, so it's pretty new. All the links are going to be in the description, of course, and you're going to get to know more about it. And I know I'm cruising by these spaces, but Saeed will give us a complete tour once he's here. But this place is absolutely beautiful. You could come here and literally spend hours just browsing. Let's take a look at the place.
Hello.
Oh, there's Saeed.
Hey. What's up,
Hi.
dude?
All good. Give us a tour. Show us around. Tell me.
Let's start right here.
Here you go.
So any comic book store, like one of the main things is statues, right? You know, toys. People like to decorate their house and all. So we start right in from the back area. We have our display counter, which you just checked out with the Leia drawing, and there's some vintage comics and like more expensive comics up there. Stan Lee signed stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff from like DC to Marvel here. There's a whole case of Batman. Batman does this cool line where they do every artist that's worked on Batman to do a statue. There's a couple of other ones down here. There's like the Wonder Woman from the Justice League movie, Flash, Rorschach from Watchmen. There's a couple of the movie ones like Bane, Batman. A lot of like the cartoons which you used to watch as a kid. See, so that's like the old school animated Batman, it's the Joker. A couple of other like variations. These are cool. I like these mask ones. Little Batman mask on your desk. And then of course like the Marvel movie ones and the cartoon ones too. So we have like see Black Panthers up there, Iron Spider, Iron Man. There's a couple of the comic characters which have not been introduced yet in the cinematic universe, but who knows, like Angela, who's, who eventually becomes a Guardian member. So who knows if Guardians of the Galaxy 3, everyone might go crazy over her. But of course we have the ones you guys know and love, like Venom's there, Wolverine, Thor, the comic Spidey, one of his friends and foes kind of characters, Black Cat. We have everything. Forrest Gump. And of course what's most important, we're in a comic book store, so comics. So this is the heart of the store, right? This is what it's all about. This is a Batman comic. Batman's my favorite. That's a new of a very popular series called White Knight. This is the sequel to a very popular Batman comic. But then of course, you know, we have like everything down here. DC's doing a villains thing, so there's like these villain covers. See, there's Detective Comics, Batman, Justice League, Nightwing, Wonder Woman. These are DC kind of stuff. So usually our racks have the newest like stuff for the past week. We have some of the stuff that came out like before that past week up on our shelf here, and a lot of these are like our back issues. So if we're like in issue 20 and you want to get like issue 15, we might still have issue 15 in stock in one of these boxes. We label them so there's like Avengers, Spider-Man, etc. Single issues. These are the weekly stuff that people want reading chapters every week, but these get compiled into soft covers.
Hola. I'm sorry. What is that?
Oh, just before we miss it, it's a bit of a mess. We're cleaning up a bit, but it's the naturality of the store. This is Batman I painted onto the wall. Batman being my favorite. This had to be done, and the layer led up into this. And what's great is Batman's right in the front, and the first thing we have is DC. And
Perfect.
we're going alphabetical. A doesn't have much besides of Aquaman, but then it goes right into Batman.
And we all know he's the best DC hero.
This is all,
He's very underrated.
This is all Batman. I think Batman has our most shelf space, and see, there's a lot of comics people picked up and like looked at and just like left there, so we'll go and clean up a bit. That's a Joker comic, that's White Knight that we just spoke about. Everything from A to Z to like Batman. Where you want to start, old school, new school, it's an order. More DC, it goes into Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman.
2 hours later.
Things that becoming TV shows like Sandman, Walking Dead, Why the Last Man is becoming a TV show I heard, and Power Rangers, and it just goes on all the way to... We kept all Batman's 80th birthday comics right there. There's many cool different colors. Awesome.
Hi, here with Saeed from Comic
Hello.
Stop. We're gonna be having an interview with him and have him tell us a little bit about the journey that got him here. Hi Saeed, how
How's
are
it
you?
going, man? Yeah.
All good. Well, thanks for the tour. It was an amazing time.
My pleasure.
Can you tell me when did you decide to start this?
As far as decision making went with this place, I think in a way we always knew we wanted to open. Like I always knew since I was like a kid that I wanted to own a comic book store at some point.
Like you were 6 years old reading
I was
your
6
comic
years
book?
old, yeah, and I'm like,
want one.
I want a comic book store. I mean, it didn't go that way like some snobby kid reading comics or like I want a comic book store. It was more like I went to the States a lot. I grew up like going to the States pretty much, and I always went to comic book stores, and it was always a thing that like my parents, my brother, everyone knew that like, oh, the one thing I want to do is go to a comic book store, get some comics, and like sit down and read comic books. And it was always the thing that like, I want to go here because we don't have one in Dubai. I want to go here because we don't have it in Dubai. And that question kept on coming out. And I think at that point, my dad and my brother both knew like, one day I think we need to do this, and like he needs to be the guy in charge,
Your dad probably said I would save some
yeah, like
tickets heading to the States. Just open one here.
Just open one here. Stop going to the States.
Did you have a flood of people, or was it slow, or?
I think we slowly grew our clientele for sure. Like we slowly got the people discovering that this place exists, and then it became a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah.
Like I would easily say I think maybe 2 or 3 months ago there's probably a couple of faces that popped in here that like now we see them on a regular basis, or like today someone could pop in here and be like, I never knew this place existed, and we could be seeing them every week for as far as
this is exactly what I'm doing here.
What it is, yeah.
That's
and it's a nice feeling because we're not just like kind of a store where it's like, hey, come and like buy shit from us and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
It's more like we want it to be an experience. It's like people come in here right after they watch Endgame or Infinity War, and it's just like you want to talk about it.
Yeah, and you want this a place to talk about, a community.
Yeah, and I think that's what even made me go like it's the right time, because I mean we opened 2 years ago, and at 2 years ago Marvel was at 8 years.
Yeah, and Marvel
and
was
that's
actually
still a long way. 8 years is insane. And
it took a while, I think, for Marvel movies, for people to catch on. Like, I remember when I watched Iron Man 1
yeah.
in 2008, and...
Oh yeah, it was 2008, yeah.
And I read about it, like, yeah, this is the first in a series, but for everyone else, I mean, every single person, like, for most people,
They had
it
no
was
idea.
just a movie,
Yeah.
right? And Iron Man 2 came out, and, like, it's just a movie. It was, I think, until...
I think like Captain America or Thor
yeah,
at least.
Thor or Captain America came out, until people are like, oh, wait, these movies are connected. And you're like, No shit, Sherlock. You have some exclusive items, things that are only found in Comic Stop.
Yes.
Tell me more about it.
Let's start with the comic book because the comic book is more exclusive to us. So this is. Oh, I'm gonna take it out of the sleeve. That's not that bad. People take out stuff from the sleeves all the time to read it. Just like handle it with care, obviously. Hopefully the camera gets it and it doesn't glare because it's quite glossy.
It shouldn't, actually.
I'll send you a photo of it as well that you could just put it in. Move it a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it is glossy.
I'll send you a picture and
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could put it. So, Batman turned 80 years old this year. Well, not in terms of his age.
Well, yeah.
And so to celebrate, Detective Comics, which was the comics Batman first appeared in, reached 1,000 issues. And with that 1,000 issues, I mean, it's a huge celebration, right? 80 years of Batman, 1,000 issues, big deal. So DC offered exclusive covers to a lot of like their premier retailers as like, you know, do you want to do a cover that's exclusive only to your store? And they printed on the back, so if you could see that, it's really small, but we'll send you a picture.
You'll see the picture.
It has our store logo, and it says that this exclusive by Tony S. Daniel and Toei Murori variant cover is presented by Comic Stop, as in it's only available in our store worldwide. There's a limited quantity, and it's only our store worldwide. And Tony S. Daniel is a big DC artist. He's done comics for years and years, and he's a very popular face in terms of Batman, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, Superman as well, the Justice League. He's done them all. So I was just like, can we get Tony S. Daniel to DC? And luckily enough, he killed it with the cover. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
They even asked me like any notes for Tony, and I could have said something like, oh, put Burj Khalifa in there or something. It would have been cool, but I said, you know what, maybe for like the future. But 80 years of Batman's about Batman, not about like our store or a Dubai store having it. So I just said, let's do it. And we were one of the few stores in the world to get it. And we got this cool cover by Tony, which makes me super happy. He signed a bunch for us as well and sent them over. He couldn't make it down here. He was busy with...
I can imagine.
Drawing, actually. He was drawing Batman, so he could have come down here. He even sent us a little nice video saying, sorry, I can't come down and celebrate Batman's birthday. He really wanted to come down.
Yeah.
He really couldn't. I asked him like 5 times. I feel bad for asking 5 times, but...
Well,
so yeah, like this is only in our store.
So you should come here, guys.
And I mean, like, you can't get it anywhere else in the world. If you find it on eBay, it's people who bought it from here.
And they're selling
or bought it from like Tony because we sent him a couple. And
yeah.
So
and Pops as well.
And the Pop, so you know, Funko Pops. Didn't talk about it much, but they're huge, and anyone who's watching this probably knows how huge they are. If you've not seen any of these around, you're probably a little blind because these are everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're in Virgin Mega Store, they're in like electronic stores and gaming stores. Mm-hmm. They're straight up. These things are everywhere. You know, they're in like. Probably in pharmacies is the next thing we know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Like,
I
wouldn't be surprised. I mean, pharmacies are selling everything.
Yeah. They're in toy stores, etc. You know, they're everywhere. And what's cool about this Thor is, first of all, it's the double-wielding hammer Thor. So he has Stormbreaker and Mjolnir from Endgame. So we haven't watched it. Which, how? 2.9 million. Billion.
Spoiler
alert. But still, 2.9 billion.
He
how
wields
have you not
both
watched
of them.
it? He wields both of them at one point. And so these pops, a lot of them, what they do is they do exclusivity to them. So, like, there's a retailer in the US or someone that like only holds it. So like, you know, Hot Topic, right? Mm-hmm. So Hot Topic does a lot where it's like Hot Topic only. This was FYE, which is a store called For Your Entertainment. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of like DVDs and clothing and pop culture stuff. Mm-hmm. So they did the exclusive of the Thor in the US.
All right.
They're a US based store. But in the MENA region, we hold the exclusive of it, in at least the Middle East region, part of the MENA. We asked Funko, we made a deal with them that can we do the full-on exclusive for Thor. So we're the only store in the UAE, and Middle East region at least, that has the Thor, and we have our own special sticker on it. So it says Comic Stop exclusive.
So if you like Thor, you
like
want
Thor. He's my favorite Avenger, so him and Spider-Man.
For me, it's Iron Man. That guy's an engineer.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
For me, it's Thor because he's pretty. I'm just kidding. No.
actually more about the artwork.
On the walls?
That's your work.
Yeah, so I studied illustration.
Okay.
And so the first thing is like when I got out of high school, because I drew a lot, I was just constantly drawing. My parents were like,
Stop drawing.
no, they actually they were like, they wanted me to draw more.
Ah, okay.
My mom, every day I come home and she tells me to go draw. You know, it's like, Mom, I'm an adult. Yeah, I'll go draw.
Yeah, parents supporting their kids.
But she was very supportive of it, and I wanted to do comic book art, so I went to a full-on illustration school. I studied all kinds of like painting, charcoal drawings, and stuff like that. And towards the end of it, I got to focus on my own kind of style. And right away, it was my brother's idea actually. When we opened the place, he's like, "These walls look a bit empty. You should draw on them.
Yeah.
Like, don't put a poster up or."
Yeah, that
He's
actually
like, "You
made them
need to
very
draw."
Unique. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "You need to draw on it." So I did Princess Leia first because we opened like 4 months after she passed away.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I was very devastated because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. And I just felt right. I was like, it has to be Leia that goes on our wall. And of course, I was like, Batman has to go on one of the walls. But first thing, I was like, let's do Leia. And let's do a test. Like, I've never drawn on a wall like this before. So I was like, let me do this right. Let's make sure I could do this right. So we got in like a projector and everything. I drew it on like a piece of paper and we projected it. And I started penciling it again. And I went and I actually, like, I remember 2 or 3 of the things I bought didn't go as well. Like, I bought a brush and this and...
Yeah, you tested,
I
tried,
tested stuff.
Experimented until you got it right.
And then I found like the perfect marker. Like now, if anyone calls me to do any of this, I'm getting that marker. You know, it's so good. Get that. I finished off the layer with that marker because it was so good. And then as soon as it was done, my brother's like, we need to do another one. So I was drawing Batmans and I was sending him pictures of Batman. And he's like, no, this one looks a bit like... Then I finally drew one. He's like, yeah, this one looks cool.
This is the one.
This is the one. I spent... Leia, I think, took me a day and a half.
We're not talking continuous drawing.
Continuous. Day, like
let's say how many hours? 15?
20? Yeah, 15, 20 hours.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man.
It's been great.
It's been awesome.
Guys, you have to visit this place. There is almost, I think it's safe to say nothing like here. There's no other shops.
We're trying our best to be the most unique experience you have.
So, and
even if you don't want to get anything, come down and say hi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I came, he bit off my ear. And I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely enjoyed it talking about these stuff. But if you just want to chat, come here. You'll love it. Thank you again.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Well, we're reached the end of the episode. I'm ending it here with Batman. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Saeed was more than generous in giving us a tour, and even the interview, it was pretty long. I cut it down as much as I can. So if you want to hear the rest of the interview, let me know in the comments below. I'll probably upload the whole thing in a future episode. And make sure you pass by the place. It's pretty interesting and fun just to hang out. Even if you're not interested in comic books, just interested in the Marvel Universe or the DC Universe or any of that sorts, pass by here. It's lots of fun. If you liked it, leave a like. Any feedback is welcome in the comments, and share it with your loved ones, anyone who you think that would actually love a place like this. Till next time, keep smiling.